Yo, what's good with everybody? Hope everybody's having a great 2025. It's January. It's cold out there. Grab them gloves, grab that hot chocolate, keep warm, stay bundled up. I wanted to go over a couple concerns I had for Ubisoft and the Division franchise. I've been a huge Division player since 1. This is the only franchise I can get this unique experience from. There's no other game, if you're a Division player, you know what I mean. There's no other game you can log into and get the same exact experience that you can with Division. And I feel like Ubisoft is missing out on a great opportunity to have a game that's up there with the likes of Fortnite and Call of Duty when it comes to what Division could be if they gave it the attention. Division, to me, this is my outsider opinion looking in, it's kind of treated like the redheaded stepchild of gaming. Like, Ubisoft has so many bigger contracts and so many bigger ideas going on that Division is great, but it's not really lucrative. To me, Division could be, dude. I watched you guys' sales and everything fly off the roof for Division 2. The pre-orders are crazy. Pre-orders for Division 1 were crazy. Like, if you're not understanding, look at the feedback you guys got for games that you canceled, like Division Heartlands. Division is a really loved franchise, and I feel like if you guys got behind Division a little more and start putting a little more money into Division, you would get that same fan base back, and they would really be enjoying the title you're putting out. People's frustration from Division, not from the toxicity and the grind and all that. It's more of the radio silence from the developers, that knowing that it's going to be years or months to years before a problem is addressed. That's not a problem that Fortnite and Call of Duty really have. When they see something that's really a concern to their player base, they try to get on it as soon as possible. Like, Division seems to let other things linger, and that would throw people off. Nobody wants to be in a situation where they feel like they're powerless. They can't do nothing about it. They have to deal with it until a patch comes out. I've had to wait multiple months for patches to get 1 or 2 problems addressed, when Call of Duty would have had that problem out of there because it's destroying their player base. You cannot let something destroy your player base and then hope to gain it back with a DLC. You have to be you promise something like a live service game, you have to be putting that attention into it. Like, especially if you have people logging in on a daily basis. There should be things like login rewards, stuff like that, for just logging into a 7-year-old game. Like, there's games like Injustice. I log into Injustice, I get a chess piece and all kind of things for free because I just logged in and they respected me for being a loyal player of the game. You don't get that with a Division. Like, you have to go out there and grind. Understandable. What the developers need to understand is the Division player base consists of mostly working adults, people who are really crunched for time already, so having to wait weeks to years for a project to be complete or to be hopeful of even hearing about a project being complete, it leaves a lot of skepticism. Nobody wants to be left in the dark, and that's one thing Ubisoft is great at doing, is leaving players in the dark, and that needs to be addressed, dude. You guys need to make better communications and show you guys care more about the game. If you guys show that you care about the game, people are going to care about it with you. If they see that you're striving to make the game better, they're going to be there and support you through it. But if they don't see that you're actually doing that, and you only go radio silent and pop up when you got a brand new ad or something, they don't feel genuine. They don't feel like, hey, we got your money and your enjoyment in our best interest. We're not gonna cheapskate you. And I have to give credit where credit is due, because I love the Ubisoft master developers. They launched Division 2 with so much more content than Division 1 launched with. After you completed the main campaign in Division 1 for a while, all we had was Dark Zone. You didn't have survival and stuff right away. So we became pretty much PvP addicts in that game. Like, that's all we really wanted to do after a point. And Division 2 kind of broke up that monotony. You had other things to go do. You had other reasons to actually enjoy and explore the world when it came to Division 2, because of all the unique things the developers put in. And I feel like the developers could have continued to capitalize on that heavily. I would have drenched us with more content, because I wouldn't have wanted that monotony or that drought to happen, because the player base could have only grew from that. It would have only picked up more and more fans. Like, dude, this game is becoming so interesting. And the areas that players are not interested in need to have ideas to keep them interesting. Like, the Dark Zone should not just be PvP focused. It needs something like storylines or something, for give players a reason to go in there and engage in PvP. Give it storylines, give it missions or something for us to have, or something that we can achieve besides pissing each other off by calling names and acting like fools all day. Like, give it some type of detail. If players knew, oh, I can go in there and learn this storyline and everything, and I got 15 to 25 minutes before a PvP engagement activates, that will actually draw in some people to come in, learn the map, get used to the dark zone, and then actually probably want to stay in after that 25 minutes is up. Oh man, I'm comfortable now. I know the map. I can get around if I do get into trouble. So I'm going to chill in here and get me some more loot. I don't want to chill in there if I can't even learn the map and I'm getting shot right away. So I understand where new players are coming from. I play Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and I'm dying in there because I don't know none of these maps. I'm like really getting steamrolled. Like, all these guys have been playing the map since launch, and I'm picking it up in December thinking I'm going to actually play. No. So, like, you got to keep it interesting for people coming into the dark zone. You have to give the dark zone some type of substance. If I knew, oh, man, Keener killed such and such in this area, here's the tape on it, I'm more interested to come in and look around and see what I can find in the dark zone, explore a little more, so look up some echoes or something. Like, there should be things like that in DZs, things that continue the storyline besides PvP and the supply drops. Like, that's great, but like contaminated events were amazing because it allowed a little bit of window for where you were vulnerable underground with a filter, your health is already dropping, things like that. I'm not gonna lie, coming into the game in D1, I was terrified of contaminated areas, all that, because like as soon as I walked into them, I died in a few of them. So I knew as a player, like, I needed to be ready before I went into that contaminated area. I don't get that same urgency in Division 2, dude. I don't have that same fear of the contaminated areas. Contamination is handled poorly in Division 2. Like, I can walk in any contaminated area and just explore freely. There's no level 4 filter required. There's no contaminated areas in the DZ where I can't go in. You guys got all this DC-62, but there's no real issue with me walking over there near it. Like, I've seen the canisters and missions where you shoot them and you can die. They could have added that effect to an area in a dark zone and be like DC-62 outbreak in such and such location. Loot rarity increased. And we run over there and battle it out, and now we got something that we're fighting for. We're less likely to sit there and engage in dumb arguments because we're looking for that next event to start in the next few minutes. There's nothing in the dark zone to give us that eagerness to run around and explore the map. There's only PvP. So, like, yeah, that's gonna become toxicity. When you give people a playing ground to fight, but no reason to fight, all you're gonna do is invite ignorance. And honestly, when it comes down to the story-based content, it needs to be more inclusive, dude. Especially when it comes to these big rewarding activities, like the raids and stuff. I've been playing Division 2 since it came out. I played the beta and all that. I myself still have never completed the second raid in Division because I don't have 8 friends to hang out with and play this game with at all times. And even when that mode was hot, it was still hard to get into that mode because people wanted people that knew what they were doing. It was not many opportunities to fail and learn. And that's where matchmaking comes into play. You can matchmaking for discovery, but it's not the same. If you don't have that core friend base, you're not going to be able to survive in Division for long. Running it solo, playing missions is cool for a certain amount of time, but solo players need to be able to have the same enjoyment and experiences of any content as a full group. That's just my belief. I don't feel like people should be locked away from content because it's way too difficult for a single player. Like, I understand there's people that solo a lot of stuff, but that's people who have time to become experienced at the game at that level, and they should be rewarded. I understand that. They should be greatly rewarded. Those rewards should be greater in that loot, though. It should be achievable for anybody to be able to come in over time, learn the mechanics, and be able to play that content and achieve those same rewards. The raid, those exclusive weapons should be in a mode that is just as difficult as the raid, but for solo players. So we can come in and get those weapons that we don't have to complete our collection. I will never have those raid exclusive because I don't have friends. And even though they drop in the dark zone, I've only seen one Eagle Bear since I've been playing again since they dropped in the dark zone. Only seen that one Eagle Bear. I've never seen any other raid exclusive exotic in the dark zone, and they have a 5% chance of dropping. I see videos of people getting them all day. Not me. Our looter's not the same. I'm being honest with you. I've never seen the Bighorn drop. I've never seen the Ravenous, any of that. I didn't see the Eagle Bear in the raid at all drop. I got it out the dark zone, literally logging in, assuming that everybody was getting it because it was such a plentiful drop. It was literally the first drop to drop off a red NPC for me. And I was like, damn, this must be everybody getting this Eagle Bear. Wrote my group and they like, nah, bro, still ain't seen it. That's rare. Crazy, bro. And some of us have been playing for years. That's the part where I want to drive home to developers. I understand it needs to be a grind, but dude, the grind needs to be destroying your game, destroying your player base. Help us enjoy the game.